Hello, everybody. Welcome to the K2 podcast. This is our 20th episode. Now, if you don't see Jamie here with us on the table here, he's actually behind the the cameras today. So he's on production. But we got an awesome guest for you guys, Cody Stockton, aka Various Layerz. Thanks for being here, my friend.
Yes, sir.
So you said you drove how long again?
3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours from Roanoke, Virginia.
All right, well, I appreciate you making the trip, dude.
Yeah,
like,
no problem,
it's
man.
awesome that you were able to come out because that's quite a bit of a drive. So I'm glad to have you here. So why don't you start off by telling everybody a little bit about yourself? Because I know you have a YouTube channel, you do the music thing. But before we get into all of that, I want to talk a little bit more about you specifically. So why don't you go into a little bit about your background?
All right, for sure. So this is Petersburg, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I grew up in Brunswick County, Virginia.
Okay, I'm familiar with Brunswick.
Like Emporia.
Is that like country living, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alberta, Lawrenceville, Virginia, South
familiar.
Hill, South Boston area, and stuff like that. And I grew up there until I was about 12 years old, so I think that was 7th grade, and I ended up moving to Roanoke in 7th grade. But yeah, I grew up with a single mom background and everything like that. So I'll kind of just start before I moved to Roanoke.
Okay.
But yeah, I grew up in Lawrenceville, Virginia, and like South Hill. In between that, I think it's called Mecklenburg or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've heard of it.
But anyway, single family, mom and stuff like that. It was me and my brother, and my grandparents lived in the area as well, right up the street from that. And it's my grandma, my granddad, and then my uncle lived with them for a little bit as well. But pretty much anyway, and down in that area, there's not like that much opportunity. Mm-hmm. There's maybe like 700, 800 people at the most in that whole little region. Yeah, so you got to think about it like this. Like there's one college, and it's a community college. There's not a lot of jobs, so everyone's trying. It's competition's high for a lot of jobs out there.
Sure.
And there's just not a lot of opportunity for anything. So my mom was kind of like trying to figure out, because I think she has an associate's degree in art, but then also like nutritional wellness and stuff.
Okay.
So she tried to get into like nutritional wellness in like the Emporia area and stuff like that. But anyway, she wasn't making a lot of money.
Sure.
You know, she's providing for 2 kids. I mean, my brother's 6'4", I'm 6'6".
Yeah, you guys are some big boys.
Yeah, like I'm 230 pounds, but like as a kid, I was a big kid too. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? And she just trying to provide for us mainly
Sure.
and just do as much as she can. And I had a pretty good relationship with my dad somewhat.
Okay.
But it didn't get really strong until after like 12, and I moved up to Roanoke because that's where he lived and stuff like that. But for a long time, man, like we lived in government housing.
Okay.
Like literally government paid for housing. Like looking in the stories one day, I'm looking in the refrigerator to see if there's any more food.
Sure.
Like that appeared type shit. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
I've done
saying?
that before. You like open the fridge and then you close
maybe
it.
I
And like,
missed
let me get
something.
yeah,
Maybe I missed
exactly.
But like, dude, roach infested apartments and stuff like
Jeez.
that. And eventually, like, my mom ended up getting I think it was gallbladder issue. So she had to have surgery, put her out of work for months and stuff like that. So we had to end up moving in with my grandparents.
Okay.
And then we lived about 5 minutes away, but they did pretty good as well, you know what I'm saying? Because they were in the military and stuff like that for over 20-some years. And we ended up moving in with them and staying there for about, like, honestly, like, I think, like, 3 to 5 years. Like, stay with them for, like, 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
Like, it shit was crazy, man, because it was harsh for my mom for a little bit. And then we ended up moving up to Roanoke when I was 12 years old, and then that brought me to the journey, because that was middle school. That was 7th grade and stuff like that. Met a lot of people and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my background as far as getting to Roanoke and stuff like that.
So did you end up in Roanoke because of your father? Is that what happened? You ended up going out. Is that what brought you to Roanoke?
Well, my mom, she grew up in Buchanan, so it's like
Okay.
right near Roanoke, like 20, 30 minutes from Roanoke, and she just really liked the area, enjoyed it. There's way more opportunity and stuff like that. So she tried for like over a year or 2 years to get a job so we can actually move there with her experience and the jobs and stuff she has done.
Okay.
So she actually landed a job, and then we ended up moving to Roanoke because of that job.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, so as you guys are growing up, I noticed that, before the show we were talking a little bit, introducing ourselves and everything like that, and you mentioned that you had got into travel sales. But before you got into travel sales, what kind of job did you first take? What was like your first job? Do you remember?
All right, so my first work ethic, start, I guess you could say, starting to learn about work ethic and actually like applying myself and making my own money and stuff like that is when I was probably in like 5th or 6th grade. Well, maybe 4th grade at the earliest. And I used to cut this dude's grass named Ralph, who lived right beside me.
Nice.
This dude would come over and eat all the food every day, man. He'd come to my grandma's house. Hey, what's for breakfast? They're like, yo, I ain't talked to you in a week, bro. What are you
just
doing?
showing up for food.
Yeah, but my first job was cutting his grass weekly. But that dude was such a freaking like. He just wanted his money. Like, he didn't want to give his money out. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, yo, I'll pay you $2, you and your brother $2 each and stuff. And like
$2?
Yeah, dude.
He was tight.
He was tight with his money, dude. But
well, commend you for like, fuck it, I'll do it, you know, but geez.
Yeah, it was more like just about building up some work ethic and stuff.
Sure.
So my grandparents, they didn't, like, they talk shit behind our backs about him about it.
Yeah.
But like, we didn't really know like about the money and stuff like that. But
right.
The church that they were renting their house from, they started needing people to like just pick up around the area, like of the parking lot with leaves, like trees, grass, stuff like that. So me and my brother started like cleaning all the leaves all the time from them, cleaning their gutters out, like getting on the roofs, taking leaves off and stuff like that. So that was kind of like my first job. But my first actual job in Roanoke, when I moved there, was Chuck E. Cheese. And
how was that, dude?
Dude, the first day that I worked at Chuck E. Cheese, they made me clean piss out of the playpen. The first day. And I'm the biggest dude in Chuck E. Cheese, right?
Right.
And they're putting me in these tubes to go clean piss. And then immediately after that, they do these things called a road show. So it's like Chucky. You have to be Chucky. You have to get in a suit.
Oh, so you had to be the guy in the suit.
The first day.
Oh, my God.
And
the first fucking day?
And, like, you're supposed to dance and everything.
Right.
And I was like, yo, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I was just kicking my legs and stuff. And then we took a break. So I go into the kitchen, and this kid's propped up in his family's arms, and he sees me without my helmet on. And he starts crying. He starts pointing and stuff. So then we have to go do another road show, and that kid's at the road show, and he starts kicking me and stuff like that. All the other kids start kicking me and whatnot. And I was like, please don't put me in this suit unless I have to be. And
they just start beating your ass, these little kids.
I was like, please don't put me in this unless I have to be. Because I was like the game room attendant, you know.
Right.
Like, I just fixed the coin problems, bust a little bit and stuff like that. But it was all right.
Okay, I mean, because you hear so much wild shit about Chuck E. Cheese. I've heard all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, I've heard stuff like if somebody, I don't know if this is true, maybe, but I've heard stuff like they reuse the pizzas. Have you ever heard no shit like that? Like, if a family doesn't eat all the pizza, they'll, like, take a couple slices, make a whole pie, put it back in the oven.
Oh, that's a thing, bro.
Oh, my God. Yeah,
that was the thing at my Chuck E. Cheese.
See, that's what I'm saying.
And I ended up quitting that job. I just didn't show up one day because I got tired of it. But, like, the only reason I stayed for so long, I think I stayed for, like, a year and a half, is because our staff was dope. And we all went to school together, like, bunch of cool girls, bunch of cool guys. We all used to, like, hang out and party afterwards and stuff once we got older and whatnot. But yeah, dude, I was like, F this, $7.25 an hour. Yeah. I'm cleaning piss. I'm in this suit. Y'all effing
just in
over
the trenches, getting your ass kicked by little kids.
I don't need to work here. Like, so I was like, F all this.
So, all right, so getting up to the travel sales thing, what was that like? Because, like, I've done a few sales jobs myself. I wasn't too bad, but I didn't like the element of not a steady income, you know, especially once I became a father and stuff. I was like, man, like I got to make sure I have a steady income because I have a child to support. It's not just about me and all of that stuff.
Exactly.
Which you would think is a little bit of a motivator. Like, okay, you got a kid to support, you know, you're going to try to make some sales, which you do. But sometimes it's almost like you could get into your own head or worry too much or all these various different types of things. I was like, I just need to make sure I got some kind of stable income.
Yeah,
but what is the travel sales for you entail? Like, what was that? What were you selling first off?
All right, so can I like kind of lead the story into how?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So for me, I'm a natural communicator and like very persuasive and extroverted and stuff like that. So 17, this was like the turning point of my life, like of where I am today to give me the freedom I have, be in the positions I've been in and stuff like that. But I started learning and like following mentors. Like I got to the point, everyone I think has something like this in their life where they're like, yo, there's more for me. Like, I'm tired of doing the same shit all the time.
Absolutely.
Like, what's up? Like, I need to figure this out. So I started like isolating myself, like the law of association, getting rid of people. Whoever you're around is who you become type thing. So I started getting rid of people that I didn't want to be like and stuff like that. And I just started focusing on motivation, positivity, become the best version of myself.
Sure.
Any habit that doesn't serve me, throw it in the trash can, and like actually sticking to that.
Right.
And watching mentors like Ty Lopez, Grant Cardone, Anthony Robbins, Gary Vee, Eric Thomas, all these people, right? And it started getting me into the mindset. And I believe in the law of attraction, and what you put into the world is what comes back to you.
Certainly.
Like karma, I guess
Sure.
they say, and stuff like that. Reap what you sow. It's in all these religious texts, right?
Absolutely.
And I started just becoming my best self. And then for some reason, I was like, I want to move to Arizona. My buddy Sammy recently moved to Arizona, like when I was thinking this, and then my aunt moved right after him. But I was thinking this before they even did that, right? So I was like, I want to move to Arizona. Started having dreams about moving to Arizona, and I was like, yo, I'm trying to make some money too. So I started doing like online drop shipping on eBay.
Okay. I'm familiar
started
with
doing that a
dropshipping.
little bit. Started making a little bit of money with that.
Okay.
And then I put this YouTube video out because we'll talk about this when we talk about like the Jake thing. But Logan Paul, I've been following him since like 2015.
Okay.
And he was like a shithead back then, right? He was this guy that he was just all about views and stuff. Right. He wasn't who he is today. But anyway, me following him was because he's this young kid doing these big things, and I want to do that, and he's always talking about positivity and stuff. So I made this reaction video to one of his songs.
Okay.
And this video started getting a little bit of momentum on Instagram. And this guy named Blaine, who I still talk to this day, he's 25 or 26 years old.
Okay.
He was like, bro, I like your personality. You should come sell door-to-door with us. Door-to-door TV, direct TV. And, and he was like, we're in Yuma, Arizona. And I was like, yo, Arizona, like making money selling. He was like, $250 a deal. Like, so you sell
$250
a deal.
Okay.
And you get paid every single week, and then you can get upfronts and stuff like that. I was like, and I follow my gut, right? So I had a really, really, really good feeling about it. So I didn't tell nobody because the people I grew up around it is how it is. Play your cards that you have now.
Right.
They don't understand, like, today is way different than it was 20 years ago, and you can actually manifest things. The internet gives you way more opportunity and stuff, right?
Absolutely.
So I told my mom a day before I left, but I was like, F it, I sold all my shit. Like, I told my roommates last minute, but I gave them enough money to cover the rent and stuff.
Sure.
And I still have the same house to this day since then. And we kept everything with the rent taken care of and shit. But I was like, yo, I'm hopping on this Greyhound bus, and it's a 55-hour trek to freaking Yuma, Arizona.
Damn.
I get on this bus, go to Yuma, Arizona, meet these people, and the first week I made, I think, $1,600.
That's not bad for a fucking week, you know what I'm saying?
My first week, and that was only like 5 or 6 sales.
Okay.
And it was selling DirecTV, but I got really good fast because I like literally just cut everything off, and I had to make it. I had to make it happen. I took that big risk, but also it's like, yo, I'm not gonna let this opportunity go without me squeezing as much out of it as I can and learning this skill that I may be really good at, you know. So it was DirecTV, but we also sold like AT&T internet. We sold certain internets like CenturyLink, HughesNet, and stuff like that as well, depending on the location we were. And we traveled to like at least 40 states.
So it was like all across the country.
Yeah. And
wow.
It was dope, dude.
That sounds pretty cool. I mean, so part of, I think as a young man, like something like that it could really benefit you in a lot of different ways. Like one,
I call it adventure.
Yeah, that's definitely exactly how you could describe it. And then also you're going to build some interpersonal skills, just talking to people, building your sales skills like you're talking about. All of those things I think are very beneficial to life, you know. And also when you get out there by yourself and you have to provide for yourself, it's almost like it's like almost back in the caveman days where they send the young boy out into the wild for the day. Like you got
better bring something back.
Exactly. You're by yourself now. You know, you got to make it work. So that's kind of how I see it. So it sounds pretty dope. Did you ever run into crazy situations while doing that? Like when you're just rolling up on somebody's door, you know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Any like women butt naked, just like, yeah, come on in.
Dude, I'm going to say this on record right now for everybody watching. I made out with a MILF, and I didn't even sell her the TV.
Oh, shit. She sold you something.
Yeah. She was hitting on me. She had wine and everything when I walked in.
Damn, so she was just like,
Oregon.
come on in, just talking. Like, how that rolled out.
The town is called Sheraton, Oregon. So everyone mark that down. If you want to go visit.
Yeah.
I got the Addy. No, I'm joking. But anyway, she was my last house of the day. And we were only selling, we could sell people who were in Dish Network contracts. Because our main goal was to go to your house, tell our pitch, get into your house, convince you to switch your TV service to what we're providing you without you even knowing that we're selling you. And we have to get your social and your debit card information to run a credit check to make sure you can get the system and stuff like that. So, like, it was very, very detailed.
Sure.
And, like, you had to be very attentive to detail and stuff like that. But for her, it was like, yo, she does not have anything I can sell. She was in a 2-year dish contract, so if I put her on direct, she's getting effed over. She's gonna be paying $240
Right.
for a dish. You know what I'm saying? It's $20 for every month that you owe if you break your contract. And she had wine in her hand, and I was just talking to her like a normal person. He started hitting on me a little bit, and I was like, "Yo, she's fine." I have been abstinent for a long ass time. I live with a bunch of dudes right now. We Airbnb houses and shit.
Yeah.
It's dope, but like
Yeah.
I'm trying to hang out with a female, and
Sure.
she's
I ain't mad
not
at
that
you.
much older than me, you know. And she started hitting on me a little bit, and then I was like, "Hey, can I get a glass of wine?" Because I was waiting on my buddy to pick me up. Yeah, I was like, "Hey, you got a glass of wine?" Okay, I was like, you look pretty good." You know what I'm saying? Like I started hitting on her a little bit, like throwing some like flirtatious things out, and then before you know it, 5 minutes later, we're both just making out on her fucking on her couch, bro.
Damn,
And
that's
then
wild.
and then my boss hit me up. He was like, "Where you at?" And I sent him the location up the street, and I was like, "I gotta go. See you later." But like it was pretty fun. But I don't want to talk before you say what you got to say.
No,
but
go ahead.
Another thing as well, bro. I've had people pull guns on me. Like,
Really? For just like
yeah.
rolling up in their yard?
Like I was not even in this guy's yard yet. Like this was in I think it's somewhere in Arizona, like Kingman. Yeah, Kingman, Arizona. This guy, like I was just walking up to him, and this was like kind of a country laid back town a little bit,
Okay.
Kingman, Arizona. And he was like, "Dude, don't come up to my house." I was like, "You don't even know what I'm here for, sir." I'm like, "We're out here doing the Dish Direct TV updates, the cable updates, whatever." And he was like, "Don't come to my property line." And I started
Jeez.
walking towards
You
him.
mind
I was
muting
like,
your phone for me?
"Oh yeah. Sorry about that."
No, that's all right.
I should have done that already.
But so you roll up and he's saying, "Don't even come onto the property."
Yeah, he didn't even listen to what I had to say, you know? And then I started walking up to him, and then he was like, "Dude, I will shoot you. I will literally get my gun." And he started screaming like he was raging, bro.
Right.
I was like, "Yo, what's wrong with you, bro? You all right?" And then that happened in Nevada, Reno, too. But this guy was nice, and I sold him TV. He opened the door with his gun drawn.
And
Like,
you converted it into a sale?
Yeah.
Hey,
His,
nice.
His finger wasn't on trigger or nothing, but he was like, "All right, just make sure it ain't nobody sketchy out here." You know what I'm saying? Because Reno, Nevada's kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
And I show him TV and stuff, but that's like the craziest situation I've been in. I got bit by a chihuahua a few times, and stuff, but I made the sale, so it's good to go.
That's worth it. Makes it worthwhile. Dang. So I don't know if I've ever done travel sales. I've actually had some people come to my house in the past and they try to like sell me vacuums and shit, and I'm like, dude, I'm not paying no $600 for some vacuum. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And they come as a salesman.
yeah, oh yeah, and they usually do come as a salesman. I think what you said earlier, like what you said, when the guy was like, "Get off my property," like, look, we're just here to do an update. Like you didn't even say, "Hey, I'm here to sell you something," because that'll probably get you shot. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, that'll actually get him to fire the bitch. Let me just tell him I'm here to do some maintenance. You know what I mean?
But that's how we got people. Like, because
Really?
we didn't scam people. Like,
Sure.
all my friends.
Well,
were
you're
like,
a salesman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All my friends were, because I was the best salesman other than this one other guy, but he was there forever. So like out of the new people who were there for less than 2 years, I was the best salesman. I had my own team and everything. Eventually, I became a manager and stuff. But like, it's literally about trying to help the person. So while these other people are in a house trying to make a deal just to save them $10,
Sure.
I'm like, yo, I'm not going to waste that time to potentially not get the deal when I can go to somebody I can save $50 a month with and,
Right.
make that sale. It's all about time efficiency and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, like, the main thing about the sales job is these guys, this company rolled in dough. So they
Sounds like it.
yeah, they put us in brand new Denali HD trucks, the Canyons, like the Yukons, the Tahoes. We had the best Airbnbs, Washington, Oregon,
Nice.
California, all these places, dude. So it was crazy, but
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, you get to try to, at a young age, travel around, learn some skills. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that at all. Let me ask, why did you end up getting out of that? Is it just to come back home, or?
this is a good thing right here. So a lot of people, people have morals, right?
Sure.
But everyone has different morals.
Absolutely.
And I was born into like a Christian family
Sure.
and just like the normal morals that America is based on, do right by others, and stuff like that. And like these guys are so freaking dope, right? I love these guys and I still talk to them to this day. But like we were going to strip clubs all the time, getting effed up. And like, bro, before I got this job, the reason I got this job is because I was so disciplined.
Okay.
And when I got this job, I stayed disciplined, but I stayed disciplined with like actually doing the job.
Right.
I wasn't disciplined with my fitness anymore. I wasn't disciplined with like my weed intake because I quit weed before I got this job. And then as soon as I get this job back, all these guys smoke weed. So I get back into weed type thing. like the strip clubs. I started spending money on shit like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, like, and then I stopped loving selling that product too, because the product kept going up in price. It was almost impossible to just try to switch somebody. You're saving them $2 to $10 now instead of 50 to a fucking 100 a month.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so
That's
it's like, I'm not going to
sell.
push some shit product that eventually is going to go out of business. So the main reason I left is because I just felt like in my heart it was good to be done, but I needed to go back to Roanoke and just ground myself.
Sure.
You know, like actually become the person that I was, that gave me the opportunity,
Yeah.
so I can keep getting opportunities opened up and I can keep realizing these things and stuff like that. But when I quit, I went to LA for 3 months to see if I want to move there, stay there for a little bit. Dude, the first week I was in LA, I lost my voice because that's how bad the smog was.
Really?
Yeah. I was like,
I've never been on that side of the country, so I've only been up and down the East Coast. Never been over to like Cali or anything. My brother, Jimmy, he was San Diego, right, Jay? Yeah, so he was in
I heard
San
that place is
Diego.
beautiful.
Yeah, well, he was in the military there in the Navy, so that was like,
word.
yeah, so that's where they were stationed
That's
at.
what's up, bro.
But you know, I kind of want to go, but with like the whole coronavirus and stuff, I feel like they're getting the really short end of the stick with everything. Like they got them locked down so tight. But I've also heard rumors that it's like, you know, I don't want to say conspiracy theory, but like a lot of people are saying like it's more of a media thing that they're saying they're locked down. But they're like, I had some friends out there that just, I have some friends that are like, yeah, actually, dude, it's not even so much that we're locked down. He's like, everything is so fucking packed. Like we can't even get into a restaurant. We can't even find a place to go.
That's
Like,
facts.
you know what I'm saying? And and you notice that here. Like I go to some restaurants, man, and I'm like waiting. Like they're like, oh, we have an hour and a half wait, 2 hour wait, and I try to be respectful. It's not their fault. You know what I mean? Like they're struggling to like have to. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but every door or every business seems like they're trying to hire and they can't get people in. So it's really what I mean. The Wawa by my house, man. This thing is literally has like open interview signs on it. I'm like, dude. With Wawa's got open interview signs on, like that's exactly, yeah, like that's sketchy. You know what I'm saying? That's like what time were we living in where Wawa has to do like open interviews? So it's kind of weird, and I feel like you're probably you're 23, right? Mm-hmm. So a little bit younger than I am. I'm 31, but I would say probably, I don't know, maybe you're a little bit, I would say people that are like 25 and under, more so around the teenage 18 to maybe 25 range, I would say. I feel like they've really lost, like there's a lot of people, I'm trying to describe it accurately. So I feel like a lot of people have lost that, like you mentioned earlier, when you were younger, you tried to build that work ethic, cutting grass, even if it was for the $2. You know, you wanted to get out there, grind it, and earn your keep, and try to just, you know, build that work ethic.
100%.
I don't feel like that's there today.
Oh, bro,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's not there today. I mean, we got people just sitting around and they're just like, yeah, maybe I'll get another stimmy, you know, or some shit like that, you know. And it's like,
there's a statistic for that.
It's just it's wild that we're going through this, but it also kind of, I think you and I were talking about this a little bit about before the podcast, but it's also, I think, another thing where there's other ways now to earn money other than those just nose to, or just grinding it out, like, you know, some
like
people
being physically there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. There's other ways, whether it's something like we're doing here with a podcast, or you see TikTok creators or YouTube creators or people building what would you call it, software or video games, like they're coding and stuff now. You know, they're teaching like 2-year-olds to code and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like my daughter has this little book and she can like type in codes to build like a little video game and stuff. You know, it's bare minimum. You know, it's like Pong or something. You know what I'm saying?
It's the programming that's beginning for stuff like that.
Exactly. So I mean, it's interesting to see how all of that will develop. So one thing that we talked about recently, I had this MMA guy on recently to do the show. He was a very cool guy. Very informative. Had a lot of fun stuff to talk about, but one of the things we talked about was Jake Paul and Ben Askren fight. And you said before the show, you're like, yeah, I was actually at the fight. So what was your experience like with that? How'd you even end up? Because where was the fight? In Florida, was it? Or
it was in Atlanta at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Okay.
And it was a VIP event only. So production, post-production, everyone who sets the fight up, talent, stuff like that. So Triller did this thing with Jake Paul where they would allow 50 to 100 people, which not even that many showed up, right? 50 to 100 people to submit a video on why they should be able to come to the fight.
Okay.
And I met Jake Paul, Logan, all these guys in LA when I lived there. I went to the Challenger Games.
I think I've seen a couple of videos on your YouTube channel.
Like Fousey 2,
yeah,
like
I
Funny
saw
Mike,
that.
all those guys, and I hung out with them for a whole day, literally.
Yeah,
like,
that's pretty cool.
At least 5 to 6 hours for the event, and then the event was longer than that. But since I do content and stuff, and I was like, bro, I was in Myrtle Beach when they did his Triller thing. I was like, bro, to my boy Steve, I was like, yo, film this video. Trust me, bro. Trust me, it's gonna work out for both of us. He filmed this video. I put it on Triller. Within 3 days, Triller hits me up. They're like, all right, so you're actually one of the winners to come to the fight. So we're do all these things. You got to go get COVID tested. Like send us all this information, your ID, like when you're gonna be here, et cetera, plane stuff, like all that stuff. And I drove because it's only 6.5 hours from my house, Atlanta, and so I was able to bring a guest. We did all the stuff we had to do, and then we went there, and then we checked in, and then we're good to go, right? We have our talent badges, our VIP badges, all access and stuff like that, and that's how I got to the fight. That's
so
how
was
I
it like
able to
all
get to the
expenses paid, or did you
Everything.
have to? So you didn't have to pay travel costs, any of that?
So they were giving us like a $400 to $600 travel budget.
Okay.
But I was trying to do this as like a strategic business way. I was like, yo, first and foremost, we can drive. All right, we're going to drive. I want more freedom, and I want to explore Atlanta and shit. It actually worked out in my favor because we met some really dope people down there that we made connects with, and we took them around town and shit all day. But I was like, let's drive first and foremost because that's an extra $400 to $600 that their logistics team does not have to spend on a few winners that are going to be like stand out anyway because these people are winners here and there's not a lot of them. So just to maybe get on the better side, you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Just in case to plant that little seed.
Yeah.
And but the hotel was paid for. We had to pay for our own food, and then since we drove, we paid for our gas. But like other than that, yeah, everything was paid for.
That's still pretty dope.
Yeah, all the alcohol, everything.
So when you get to the fight, and I mean, because there's so much shit surrounding that fight, bro. But when you get to the fight, so they had all the performances and all that. You were able to see all of that stuff.
I was backstage.
Oh, really? Okay, so what did you?
Shit was wild.
What did you think about the whole event? Because I've heard so many different reviews. I've heard like, oh, this shit was rigged. Then I've heard like, no, it's just. Dude got his ass beat. Then you got heard like, oh, he just did it for the bag. You know, you hear all this different type of stuff. So what is your take on it? Where did you stand? Because you were there. I mean, you got to feel the vibe and kind of understand what it was like.
Bro, Jake Paul slapped this guy. That's what happened.
Really?
Like, all right, everyone has this thing on Jake. And I get it because how he used to be is so cringe. And it's like, I don't fuck with you type shit, right?
Well, they don't believe in him.
Yeah, 100%.
They don't want to give him the credit.
He's not the same person.
I don't know. I don't really can't judge about his character whether he is or isn't the same person. But what I will say, there is a little slight part of me that feels like he doesn't get the credit he deserves to
100%.
be in the fighting round. Now, granted, I'm not all gung-ho, like Jake Paul, yeah, he's a beast, he'll knock anybody out.
He still hasn't fought professional boxers.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like he hasn't had that really good matchup to prove himself, so to speak. But Ben Askren was a good test, and he handled himself like it didn't even go around, So that's you know what I'm saying. Like it didn't even go around.
He hit the ground.
Yeah.
Even like Ben
out.
Askren faked it. It's like no,
you don't nobody limp over like that. Like you just limp.
He was like struggling to like walk.
Yeah,
for a minute.
it took him a minute. So I was just gonna say like I just don't feel like he's necessary. Do I think Jake Paul's going to be like the next Floyd Money Mayweather or something? Probably not. But does he get the credit he deserves? Also, again, probably not. You know what I'm saying?
Here's my take from from the same end as you. It's like, all right, so Jake has been training, right? So you can never say someone is not up to the test if they have been putting in the work and you have not seen them put in the work. They're putting in the work in the dark, right? We've seen his training videos and stuff, but this guy hasn't stopped training boxing since his first fight camp.
Yeah.
So that's 3 years. Like, especially if you're somebody who's 24 making over $20 million at 20, your mindset has to be focused.
It's hard to focus.
You have to be able to tackle anything that you put yourself into, right?
Absolutely.
And especially when you put yourself on a stage like this and your whole career in the limelight like that to potentially fail it. And he put his training in, but he has fought two inexperienced people and then an Olympian, but the Olympian was mainly wrestling and jiu-jitsu and shit like that, right? But he hasn't fought an actual professional boxer,
Right.
but does he have the capability to do that? I believe so.
Or at least I think he deserves a chance at it. At least, you know,
100%.
it's like nobody even like even he's got beef with what's the guy Dana White and stuff. They won't even let him get into like the MMA world, or like they won't let him get a fight or something because I think Dana was saying, he was like, no, you're not getting a fight, and no, we're not doing that. And all of that stuff. But I feel like, get the guy a shot. Let him get, and if he does get his ass beat, then it's the perfect, okay, we told you so type of moment. You know what I'm saying? But give him a chance to prove himself. Let him have a shot at it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the biggest Jake Paul fan, but I will say I'm able to decipher between, hey, I'm not really a big fan, but hey, the guy is putting in the work. Like you said, give him a shot. Yeah, give him a shot, Exactly.
Credit's where it's due.
Exactly.
And also, he sold over 1.5 million pay-per-views.
And nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about
those
that.
Those are bullshit numbers. He's like, what are they then? Like, Dana was like, what are the numbers?
Yeah.
He doesn't know, but like, at the end of the day, like, this guy brings attention.
Sure.
So I'm a little biased, obviously, but they had a really big effect on me taking risk, and that's why. And it put me in the position to meet them. So, like, that's why I'm more biased about it. But also, at the end of the day, when it comes to martial arts or boxing or whatever, like, you have to give someone the respect for the work and the technique and the sweat, the tears, whatever it takes.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
his buddy, his security guard got killed and stuff like that too, like 9 days before the fight.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like that's what that.
So that can affect your mental game.
Then he had a funeral like the week after, right, for the guy, and it's like, he was fighting for him. His name is Shadow, but yeah, man, like, overall, it was a great event. I met Snoop Dogg and hung out with him for 3 minutes.
That's pretty cool. Did he pass you the L? He had
a new one every time, though. I was like, fuck, Pete Davidson and Jack Harlow did it, too. I was like, bro,
and what was up with the Pete Davidson thing? Didn't he, like, go into Jake Paul's locker room questioning him about
the... He was just being a fake dude.
Yeah, really? I mean, because he was, like, doing the flip.
You about it?
Yeah, that was weird. That whole thing was weird, because I know they were, like... Because I know Jake was going through some shit, or still is, apparently, about the whole... what do you call it? I guess the... sexual SA allegations or stuff. So like, but you never know. These guys, like, you see it all the time, and I'm not dismissing, the female's point of view. We don't know what happened.
Because I have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. Either. Nobody does. But it's just like, it's so prevalent. It's just like how, like, I don't know. It's just it's one of those weird things that I guess there's what my mom used to say, there's your side, their side, and the untold side.
Exactly.
Or so, you know what I'm saying?
Everyone has a side, but what's the truth?
Yeah, we never know. So it's kind of hard to see. So another thing I want to talk about, so your YouTube channel, I have it linked in the video description. So people go check out Cody's YouTube channel, aka it's various layers. So make sure you go check his YouTube channel out. But you also got a lot of music and stuff on there. So how'd you get into the music thing? Because like, and this is not hopefully this doesn't rub you the wrong way or make you feel like I'm being disrespectful. But generally talking to you, you don't seem like a guy that would be into like I won't say. Obviously, I think you would like hip hop, but to develop the music and make it, like, where did that come from? Because you're well spoken, and not that anybody that does hip hop,
but there's a culture for hip hop.
Yeah, it's like and I would say,
and I don't fit the
part. Exactly. Yeah, exactly, exactly. So where did
that
that come from? Like, did you have like specific influences or something that led you to it? Was it something you're passionate about? Like, how did that come about?
So the first thing I want to make known to everybody watching is my playlist has barely any rap in it, right? I listen to pretty much EDM, drum and bass, dubstep, and shit like that. That's I like trance, atmospheric dance, stuff like that. Have some rap, but music started because when I was a kid, I did piano for a little bit, and I had piano recitals and stuff like that, but I was always really good in English class. Okay. I was always good at writing poems, and stuff like that, and like just putting words together and being able to like speak what my mind is thinking. And when it comes to hip hop, and it was 10 years ago, maybe I was 16 I was 15, okay? My buddy Justin that I met in high school, I was in 9th grade, I think 15, whatever. But anyway, my friend Justin that I met in high school through my brother, he was like, bro, and I play trumpet too also, I should make that known in 6th grade. But he was like, bro, I'm actually, because he's so into hip-hop. This dude studies hip-hop. He can talk to you about any album, any artist, anything like that. His dad brought him up in it a little bit, and then he just kind of got exposed to it himself. And started. He's a big Mac Miller fan and met him a few times and stuff like that. But he was like, bro, I'm about to get a Mac with GarageBand on it.
Yeah, GarageBand's dope. Yeah. It's dope. I have it on here, and it's dope.
That's what we started with. And he was like, yo, do you want to like start rapping? We started with a Blue Yeti microphone. And it was my buddy Matt. So we called ourselves Not Millionaire Music.
Okay.
And we just created this little thing, started in my buddy's Matt basement and stuff. and we started making songs. Some of the songs were so bad that people on YouTube would comment and say, "Go kill yourself." It was like, yo, progress, right?
Hey, I mean,
progress.
Hey, like it's an opportunity, and like I said, even like when it comes, we were talking about this before the show as well. But no matter what you're gonna do, like it's gonna take practice and make, like you said, you got to make those strides and make progress, and you can hit that hypothetical gym. You know what I'm saying? Like even with this podcast, it takes like encounters like this, doing the podcast with you, for me to be able to practice, and It just takes time. It's not something that you develop like overnight and you're just big celebrity. You know what I'm saying? And then, I don't do it for the celebrityism. I do it to build connections, talk to people, and also like you did for sales, build some skills, things that I can take with me into my future and teach, my child, and just so many opportunities that it can offer, you know what I mean? And I enjoy it more than anything, you know what I'm saying?
Marathon, not a sprint with it.
Yeah, exactly. So, and a lot of time, also another great thing, I don't want to go on the podcast too much, but one thing that is kind of neat is like, you can literally go to the very first video I did and see the evolution of it, you know what I'm saying? Like,
see the progression.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Stuff like that.
And you're not going to get that. You can go check out Joe Rogan's YouTube channel. You're not going to get that. You can go check out some of these other podcasts. You're not going to get that. You have to wait till they're already a celebrity. They don't interact with the viewers. Like if you come into our live chats, like if we do a live stream or something, we're going to talk and read it off and engage with you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And talk about, and I feel like that's something you can't get with all these other podcasts. And I feel like that's what's, hopefully going to separate us from everybody else. I want to be able to interact. I want to be able to talk to people. That's the whole reason I started the podcast, So that's the whole reason I wanted to get into this. So just to further to your point is it just takes practice. Whether you're people telling you go kill yourself, I haven't got that message yet, but I wouldn't be surprised. You never know. Like as he grows in popularity and more eyes and stuff get on it, that could happen. But ultimately, it takes practice. So I'm not surprised to hear you say that. But there's a few songs on your page that I checked out. I was like, this is pretty good. I enjoy. There's one I want to say it's called In the Ether, maybe. I liked that one, and that one was pretty. I enjoyed that one more than I probably would say that was the one I liked the most. But I'll let you keep going about how you got into the music game and stuff. So you guys with your friends, he starts making beats on GarageBand, you're saying? Is that what
beats, gets a mixer pad, everything.
Okay.
And sometimes we were even recording in the car in a parking lot type stuff. But I just liked it.
Okay.
I just love making music, creating, seeing how people reacted to it and stuff like that. And we had a lot of support from our high school. Like I was chill with all like the nerds, the party populars, the jocks, everybody, right? Because I'm just very extrovert and I just want to be cool with everybody. And I was like, I had tons of friends, so they always supported us and stuff like that. But then I was like, yo, I actually want to start taking this a little bit more seriously. Like actually put some time and effort into it, development and stuff like that. And I still struggle today with being creative sometimes because I've been dropping a song like at least every 1 week or every 1.5 weeks. So I'm probably gonna take a break soon just to like get my creative juices going. But like the main thing with it was we just wanted to actually pursue that, right? So years go by, we're just doing it, staying consistent. I learned how to use Logic Pro X, which is the go-to software for me today. And I like get really good at engineering, being able to cut up vocals and like fade things out. Then my buddy Terrell, he's really good at making beats and rapping and singing. So we just have this whole really good group of people around us that we can build off of each other and feed off of each other. And like the main reason we even started was for fun, but then we figured out that we actually love to do it. And also, like, I want to have a platform as an influencer, and I don't necessarily want to be known for rap because, like, my biggest account is 50K on TikTok, and that's motivation and stuff, and that's what got me into the position I am in today and stuff anyway. But it's something I love to do, and I would love to improve on. I don't have all these $8,000 plugins, $10,000 plugins, so like a lot of the songs that I have out is just what I can use with stock stuff and a few extra plugins. And I'm recording on a Blue Yeti mic. I don't have a condenser mic anymore. I have to upgrade it and stuff like that. But I'm just trying to stay creative, but also make it better than last time and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, no, I mean, I think that's exactly what it boils down to. And in that, there's that, I'm sure do you know that song Quicksand by Moray? Have you ever heard that song?
If I heard it, probably, but I don't,
You've probably seen it, but it's interesting because this guy, literally had his buddy shoot the film or shoot the video for him, and it's got like over 60 million views on or plays on YouTube. And, it's like a huge song, and it really lifted him up into success. But the point is, he didn't have all this expensive equipment. It was just his buddy, friends in the neighborhood. They got together, and then they made a video. And I'll show you the what do you call it? This guy here. Have you seen that? Okay, so I'll have to send you the link after the show so you can check it out, because it's literally in his neighborhood. And he's a very positive guy. You wouldn't think that, but he's very positive and got a good attitude. He's actually there's a podcast, No Jumper podcast.
Yep.
He was on that podcast, and you got to see a little bit about how he is, because that's why he had him on. He's like, dude, you blew up it's basically an overnight success. He had to address some allegations about him being like what you would call like an industry plant, because people, I think, what's that other, I want to say maybe it was DJ Vlad or something like that, who was like, yeah, it's just kind of weird how this guy comes up out of nowhere, gets 60 million views in just a short period of time, and blah, blah, blah. I just don't understand it. He was like, but the song's great. I'm not knocking his hustle. He's like, the music is awesome. The song's great. But he's just like, it's kind of weird how it's all adding up. And so he gets on there like, look, I was literally walking 3-4 hours to go back and forth to work and busted up shoes. And, he talks about his girl and how the girl he's with, he's like, I would never screw around or nothing, because when I was dead broke, didn't have no money, my boots were talking type of thing, she was there and holding me down. And I thought that was pretty cool. So he seemed like a real stand-up guy, but I'll have to send it to you after the show just so you could check it out, because it was minimum production. Great video, by the way, because when they asked him, like, the video looked really good, he was like, yeah, it was just my buddy who did it. He's like, wow, you did pretty damn good. And that can actually show you how you don't need all these big record labels or 100%. All of this stuff. Like, if you got the passion and the drive and the grind to get it done, you can make it happen.
People reciprocate that energy.
Oh, absolutely. You can make it happen. I mean, you see it with all these guys that probably would not have a career if it wasn't for YouTube. I mean, even like, maybe I could be wrong here, and you may know more than I do on this, but even like, I want to say like, or Tekashi, he started like on SoundCloud, right?
Talking about 6ix9ine?
Yeah.
Yep.
So like a lot of these guys started off just putting on. They don't have no record label. Like they wouldn't, if that platform wasn't available, they would not have the careers that they have today, most likely. 100%. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's very interesting to see, and that also goes back to what we were talking about earlier, where that work ethic type of stuff that we were talking about that kids are lacking can be used. It's a little bit different. Like now they're applying it to whether it's music or the entertainment industry. Like, so you do see that kind of new avenue. And I think the reason why there's such turmoil about young folks not working and older folks kind of looking down upon it is because we're in that like transitional period where it's developing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's changing. It's evolving. And it's like this whole new generation. So it's just something weird. I wouldn't say weird, but it's a whole new kind of concept that's coming out. But we'll see how it goes. I'm somewhat excited. So you also you have your YouTube channel. You're on Spotify, Apple Music. I'm going to put all that stuff in the description. Also, I'll make sure your TikTok is up there as well. So make sure you guys go ahead and follow, but also make sure you subscribe to the podcast as well while you're here. I would greatly appreciate that. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about or get into? Anything that you didn't touch on that you can think of?
Yeah, so one thing is, I just want to tell this to a lot of people.
Okay.
Because like I said, this kind of brought me up to how my mindset is.
Sure.
A lot of people just think that the cards they have is what they can play with, right?
Sure.
And at the end of the day, in my opinion, I mean, we have the internet. You can do anything on. People are making 17-year-olds are drop shipping, making millions of dollars a year on the internet.
I did a little bit of that myself.
Like, it's dope.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't make no millions, but I definitely did some drop shipping, and I sold on eBay and Amazon as well. So it was pretty cool. I would go to auctions. I don't want to give up my spot, but I'll say it was, you can equate it to an estate sale, okay? So you would go to these auctions, and you could literally buy just the most craziest stuff, all right? Like, just the wildest stuff, all right? I mean, I've sold the weirdest stuff, dude. Like, I wish I could think of something, but now that I'm trying to tell you about it, I can't think of nothing really well. Okay, for example, there was this one thing. It was a glass bottle that I came across. It looked absolutely worthless, but it had a painting on the bottle when I initially looked at it. I'm like, what the heck is this? It's just a painting on a bottle? What the hell is this? And anyway, it had a jade top. And then I looked at it a little closer, and the painting was on the inside of the glass. So what I started doing research, and come to find out, it was something called I want to say a snus bottle, but basically back in, I don't want to screw this up because like I mean this sounds bad, but I was like, yeah, how much is it worth? You know what I'm saying? Like sounds bad, but the snus bottle, they would put like cocaine and stuff in it, or even tobacco and stuff, and these people in war would take these bottles with them, and they just pull it out, do a little bump or whatever they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And interestingly enough, these painters would actually dip the paintbrush inside of the bottle and paint it on the inside, and the picture and then you'd have to paint it in reverse because you have to remember the picture would be coming out towards you. Yeah. So the painting on the ends, like sticking a brush down, paint it from the inside, and it was like really worth like a good chunk of money. I paid like $5 for this whole bin of stuff, and it had like a projector down the bottom, a whole bunch of stuff. I sold the projector like it was like $500 or $600 on the projector, but I ended up selling everything out of that bin for like $800 on a $5 investment.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Retail arbitrage.
Yeah, it was like I was just shocked. But most of it was it's secondhand goods. But all I did was bring it home. I'd sort it, clean it up, wipe it down, make sure everything was good to go, take some high quality photos. You know, I had an iPhone, this was like iPhone 8 days, you know what I'm saying? But like there was some good photos. I had this sheet. I even had my own little store for a little while, a little shop.
Oh shit.
Yeah, where you could, because I was growing it pretty quickly. I was like, dude, I'm making some pretty good money. Let me open up a little shop so I can not only do the internet side, but a location. You know, I was like, that can maybe tap into that, and that went pretty good. But my main source of sales was online. I mean, I'm just selling all kinds of random stuff. But you're very right. Like that's something that people, I think what they do is for some reason there's this like stigma around the internet. People still haven't quite grasped it yet. Yeah, they're like, dude, this doesn't seem
it's a
right.
scam.
Yeah, it's scam. Yeah,
without even doing any research.
Yeah, they didn't think about it, or they just give it a shot. Just try it out. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you. That's something that people could try to do. But I didn't mean to cut you off and go on that long rant. But it's just it's interesting because I very seldom come across somebody else who also has done it or tried to do it or went into it.
Too, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, you see that all the time.
My biggest week was $1,200.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, can't hate on that at all.
Dude, I worked working as in delivering or having people come pick up maybe 3 hours out that whole week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can't
And that includes getting the stuff as well.
Right.
And like just going like Walmart, retail arbitrage, and then also my brother, he does home improvement. So he has his own business. And this was one house I just wanted cleaned out everything, and these people have money, you know. So I was I literally just filled up the car with as much as I rented a vehicle that was big enough to put as much as I could in there to take home. And we have a shed out back in our house, and I just filled that thing up and just sold out of the shed, dude.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. That's dope as shit. Like I ain't gonna lie. That's exactly what I did. I mean, my brother can tell you, I was actually staying at his house for a time. I went through a separation with my baby mama, but you know, we went through a separation, so I ended up moving in with my brother a little while, and that was one of the things I wanted to start doing, trying to make some money, because I'm like, hey, look, I gotta grind it out, I gotta make some cash, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. And I was bringing shit home all the time. He's like, what is this stuff? What you got going all up in here? You know what I'm saying? But I had a pretty nice little big space. I'm talking about, and you could, on my Instagram page, I got hundreds of photos of products and stuff that I was selling, how I made, I think my best, so when eBay would give you a 60-day total, how much you would sell in 60 days was $8,000. So I made $4,000 each month.
That's
and now of course I should preface that with it was leading up to Christmas time, so it was like that November, December range. But I was literally running out of products, and I was like filling up my car with so many packages that when I would go to the post office, they were like getting pissed at me because I was bringing so many. Yes, stuff, I'd have to make 3 or 4. Yeah. I was bringing like 3 or 4 pack loads up back and forth into the post office, and I would have continued to do it, but I ended up, I ended up having a child, and I guess a lot of this stuff would be what you would call straight up just excuses, and it's probably something that I would have to like really buckle back down into, you know what I mean? It's something that I would like to get back into, because there's definitely money to be made, especially in like weird times like with coronavirus and stuff, man. Like, people can like, if I can get a product that's discounted and not pay full retail, like prime example, like with summer coming up, if you can get your hands on some cheap ACs that people are throwing out and you flip the air conditioners, you're making, I mean, they will pay you for those damn air conditioners.
And that's like my point too. Like at the end of the day, people don't realize we're at this precipice of what is called the Great Reset. World Economic Forum talks about it, stuff like that, whether you want to call it whatever, globalism, whatever you want to call it.
Something's happening.
And everything's going digital. Within the next 5 years, mark my words on this podcast, there's not going to be a dollar bill you can hold in your hand. They already have the USDC, US digital coin, dollar coin. And like I'm heavily invested in cryptos and stocks and stuff.
Too.
And we have a crypto group on our Telegram and whatnot. But like everything's going digital. So what I want to tell people is like, you have to learn these skills now. You have to actually like look around the curve to see where we're going, because by 2050, the World Economic Forum said over 90% of the jobs that are physically done are going to be autonomous and done by AI.
Yeah.
So it's like, so what's going to happen to all these people, right? We still have a starvation issue. We still have climate change, whatever. So what are we actually going to do and put into place? And they're going to have to change the way society is made and built up. But the main thing I'm getting out of this is play your cards a certain way. Is like you can always add to your deck if you add to your mind, if you add to your soul, like what you learn, like who you try to become. And that's the thing too. A lot of people are ignorant about their circumstance or whatever it may be, but it's like, bro, like we have the internet. Like back in the day, they had excuses, but like today we have something where if you don't have the answer, you can go on Google and find it in 2 seconds type
immediately.
Shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's how it was with me. It's like, yo, I don't know what I need to know to get to where I want to go, but the internet does, and maybe I should just apply myself and use that. And it all starts with mindset.
I agree.
And when people are in a victim mentality all the time or thinking the world's out to get them, and I know a lot of people are.
Absolutely. Everybody does.
There's a reason there's a 1%, right?
Yeah.
And it's like we need to change that thinking, but why aren't we talking about that? Like we have depression and all these mental illnesses going on in the world, but we're not talking about the core things that could lead to that, which is people's mindset and how they actually view the world, right?
Sure.
Everything's perspective at the end of the day. Like the way you look at life is perspective. So
I mean, it's a great I'll just say that's you're hitting it right on the head. I think what it boils down to a little bit is the fact that we are going through such, big changes as a country, as a world, as a race, all of this stuff. As we go through these changes, I almost want to say it's like a little bit growing pains. Like, people they're trying to figure this stuff out, because some people are like, well, I was always like, even some of the older folks, they're taught, like we're in this weird, like I said, transitional period where like the older folks are like, no, you go to work, you bust your ass, you do this. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do those things, but I think they need to be like, it means something different now. You know what I'm saying? Like
sure.
it's something totally
like
different.
We have to survive.
Yeah, exactly. It means something totally different now, to whereas whether that like even like so so your grandpa be like, yeah, I used to wake up at 5:30 in the morning, and I used to go down to the farm and had to be out there before the roosters crowed, and I was out working all day until the sun went down and blah blah blah. But now you can do those same things, but you can literally do it from right here, and like you said, you literally have no excuse to like really beat on your craft, whatever that craft is. But at the end of the day, I just think the method of work has changed. It's not so much manual labor anymore to make a living. You don't have to be that way. And I think that's where we're getting away from that manual type of labor stuff. Now, I'm not saying that that's necessarily the right thing or the wrong thing. I just think that we're in that transitional period where we're going to see like this last 2 years, or even from 2020, the start of pandemic back in February of 2020 to now, has changed so much. And I can only imagine what it's going to be like even like what you said, like even the US dollar, as much as they're printing off, I just don't see the sustainability in it. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing, like the stuff that's happening, we're going through this transfer of wealth, the biggest transfer of wealth in history, but it's not from rich to poor. It's poor is getting poorer, middle class is gone, and the rich are... all right, look. Jeff Bezos, the guy who runs Twitter, that guy who runs Apple, I don't know their two names, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and those are just the famous billionaires I was watching a documentary on earlier. They got double richer throughout coronavirus.
Absolutely.
Like billions of dollars richer. So it's like... I'm just trying to help people figure out their mind, because if you can figure out how powerful your mind is, that's my main mission, like with the key of the day and stuff, and like my music. A lot of my music positive. I just talk about like my positivity and stuff. It's like to get you self-aware and critically think and like start to figure out who you are and develop yourself, so you can actually figure out how to apply yourself in the world and adapt yourself in the world, because a lot of people are going to be left behind when this new technological revolution happens, and it's going to be horrible.
So quick tidbit before as we're coming towards the end of the show, like, so when it comes to the crypto thing, so this is why I recently invested in Dogecoin, okay? Now, I'm not a big fan of it. I don't really care for it. But I invested in it. And the reason why is it goes back to your earlier point, like you have to kind of look around the corner a little bit and open your mind up a little bit, because this is what happened. I had an opportunity to buy Bitcoin. I'm talking about very early on. I'm talking about in the dollars range.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes. Now, my buddy told me about it. And he's like, yeah, you want to, should we buy some of this Bitcoin stuff? You want to do it? I was like, dude, that's some garbage. What are you trying to scam me, bro? Yeah. I was like, dude, you're trying to scam me? What the fuck? Like, this sounds like a scam. He's like, yeah. I was like, dude, you're telling me I can put money into I don't even get to touch it? I don't get to see it? What are you talking about? Totally blew him off. And also, it was very difficult to buy then too. You had to go through like so many. There's no like exchanges like there are today. Like, and like I said, I'm 31, so I'm a little bit older. So you had to like go through like so many hoops just in order to purchase Bitcoin. And you had to hope that when you purchased, you did it accurately and didn't actually get scammed. You know, I was like, dude, screw this. This sounds like this is too much. Too much. Not doing it. Hell with this. I'm not doing it. Sure enough, Bitcoin now you see is at 60,000. So when Dogecoin came around, and I know there's plenty of others. You got Ethereum, and you've got there's a new one like SafeMoon out now, which people are talking about and hyping up. I don't like that one.
If it's in the news,
yeah, exactly.
Buy the rumor, sell the news.
Yeah, exactly.
Warren Buffett made that quote.
No, that's true. But I will say, with the Dogecoin one, I was like, I'm not a big supporter. I don't really believe in it. I didn't believe in Bitcoin then, but I was like, I'm not going to miss another opportunity.
100%.
You get what I'm saying? So I got to open my mind up and realize, like, hey, I've got to take a little bit of a leap of faith here. If it doesn't work, okay, so be it. You tried, and I was at least able to learn something. I learned a little more about trading. I learned a little bit more about investing. That stuff does come at a price, whether it's time, money, all of those things. But I think it's well worth the investment. Even if you don't get these big riches or fames or none of that stuff, you still learned a valuable skill. And I think investing is something that people should consider. You know what I mean? 100%. It's like, so it's kind of interesting. We'll see how it all develops over time. But, dude.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, because I know you're about to end it.
Yeah, sure.
But one thing, since you are invested in crypto, and for anybody watching, here's how you need, in my opinion, because the guy who runs the crypto group with me has been doing this for like 7 years. He was making at least $2,000 a day day trading, but now he's just like, he still day trades, but he does like a lot of long-term hodling and like building hedge funds and stuff like that. But when it comes to investing in a cryptocurrency, first and foremost, buy the rumor, sell the news, but also you want to invest in utility tokens, because there's thousands of cryptocurrencies out, right? What tokens are going to be used for the new financial system that's going to be implemented within the next few years? And that's what you need to look at. So this is what I tell people. Things like XRP, which is Ripple, ADA Cardano, ZIL, XLM, which is Stellar Lumens, and ZIL is Zilliqua, BAT, it's called BAT, and like all these other cryptocurrencies. You want to look at things that are solid projects that are actually going to be a part of the new financial system and are actually changing things for those reasons. Dogecoin is a good gamble, and they're on this new thing called the Flare Network, but Dogecoin has no utility right now. And that's the thing. If they get utility,
it could, yes,
they're good. They're good to go.
So, and that's one of the things we were talking about with Dogecoin is like it doesn't have a whole lot of utility, and it also has like an unlimited supply, but which is also kind of a good thing, because they said that means it could be a feasible currency
100%.
Because like, okay, with the US dollar we just print more. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with if Dogecoin was to become, let's say, the used currency, then, and I don't ever see like I feel like the name would have to change. I don't see people getting behind like, yeah, we use Dogecoins here. For some reason, it just seems too gimmicky.
Elon Musk and shit.
Yeah, it just seems too gimmicky. But I do see it getting to a point where it could reach $1, $2, and even if it doesn't have that utility that we're talking about, there is.
You still make money.
Exactly.
Make money. My dad got in at under 1 cent, right?
Really? I didn't get in until 7 cents. I got in at 7 cents.
He's still holding though.
Is he?
And he got at least 100,000.
Well, they call that diamond hands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's wild.
He sold some of it, but he still has some.
Okay. Well, What'd you say, 2 cents or 1 cent?
Nah, he got in under 1 cent.
Oh,
like it was
my
like
goodness.
0.000 something.
That's wild. Yeah, no, I didn't get in until about 7.5 cents.
But shit, you're still up.
Yeah, but it was great. I mean, I only bought like 1,500 Doge, so I spent $100 on 1,500 Doge coins. It's worth like about $600 now. You know, I ain't hating on that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's not hating on that at all. But that's all I think we're gonna do for tonight's show, dude. Pleasure to meet you. Glad that you. I mean, you made a long ass trip, and I really appreciate that. You guys make sure you go check out Cody's YouTube channel. He's actually, I got it all linked in the description down below. It was a pleasure speaking with you, learning about you. I definitely hope we stay in touch. Come
100%.
on the show again, dude.
100%.
Like, yeah, awesome. All right, cool.
I'll make that drive easily, bro.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, maybe we'll have to meet up halfway or something. We'll go do something fun, man, because I really enjoyed my time talking with you. So thanks for being here. I really appreciate that. But that's going to be it for tonight's show. We're going to see you guys next week. Next week, I actually didn't book any guests for next week. I decided that I would take a week off from having guests on so we can do get back to me and Jamie doing an original episode. So we'll see you guys next week on Monday. We may do a live one. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. We may do a live episode next week. But you guys stay tuned for that. Thank you for tuning in so much. Take care.
Heck yeah, brother.